Fox News exclusive now. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani has been off the trail, out of the spotlight a bit until today. Rudy Giuliani in studio here tonight. Good to see you and good evening to you. I know you came to talk about John McCain, and we will about his health care plan. David Wilhelm is saying this puts the issue behind him now. Does it?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that the fact is that every single thing that that the Reverend said yesterday, he's been saying on and off for 10, 15, 20 years. And the reality is that everything he said yesterday was predictable. It's just a repeat of the things he has said in the past. So the question is, why did Senator Obama now come to the conclusion that he has to separate himself, not a year ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago? And we're not talking about religious statements here. We're talking about political statements. America's involvement in war, America's involvement in terrorism, America's responsibility for HIV, September 11. So we're not talking about the man's religious message. We're talking about specific political statements he's made over the years that I think you would have to say, any fair-minded observer would have to say, were seriously, aggressively anti-American. He was a member of the church, but beyond that, he borrowed the title of his book from one of Reverend Wright's sermons. So this was a man he deeply admired.
It was titled The Audacity of Hope. Senator Claire McCaskill, an Obama supporter, is going to join us in about 15 minutes from Capitol Hill. Let's move away from this right now and talk about John McCain. He's out there talking about health care today. He says the problem is not quality in America, it is cost. How will he manage this?
Well, I think a big difference will emerge in the campaign between government medicine and private medicine. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton want to take us to government medicine, socialized medicine. Hillary's been wanting to do it since 1994, and I think her dream is to get us there. And if you look at their proposals, they're big steps in that direction. John wants to contain cost, and he wants to do it by bringing in the principles of the private marketplace, which is the only way in which you contain cost.
Well, he talked about tax refunds today, taking your plan across state lines. Sure, talked about community health centers, walk-in clinics.
Well, these are the ways we reduce cost in America, through private markets. We never do it with government controls. Government controls, price goes up, quality goes down. What basically Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton want to do is bring us Canadian medicine, English medicine, French medicine. I was just in Europe. Everybody there wants to come here for medical care.
Howard Dean
Nobody wants to go there.
He jumped all over this today from the DNC, saying this is more of the same failed policies we've seen for 8 years. Your reaction on that?
They haven't done it. They haven't done the tax reductions. President Bush has recommended tax reductions. They haven't happened. The core of the problem, part of the core of the problem, is the major deduction that employers get when they give health insurance to their employees. So people don't buy their own health insurance. There are no principles of private decision-making taking place. If we gave a major tax deduction to everyone, buy your own health insurance, don't get it through your employer, you'd see the cost of health insurance. I think you'd see it cut in half. I think you'd see it 50%, 60% reduction.
Today, how big of a priority is this? If you go down the list of what people are voting on next November, where does it rank?
Could be a big. Right now, you'd have to say it's terrorism, the war, the economy, price of gasoline.
And probably the economy #1, based on what we're seeing so far.
Those have been the cluster of issues for the. But I always believed, I put out a major proposal on health care as well 8 months ago, 7, 8 months ago. I always believed it would become a big issue in September, October, November. I think this will be a big issue in the campaign, and I think John is anticipating that with his proposal, which is similar to one he made earlier, but this is in more detail.
Third topic, and I'm squeezing this in here. The Archbishop of New York had some strong words publicly about you taking communion at St. Patrick's Cathedral on 5th Avenue when the Pope was in town here. He said you had an understanding that you, given your abortion position publicly, would not accept communion. Your response to the Archbishop?
I keep those all confidential. Conversations with the archbishops, with priests, and the things about my conscience I keep confidential. Nothing more confidential than your relationship with God.
I understand that, and I respect that. The Archbishop also said he would have a private meeting with you. Will you take him up on that offer?
I'm happy to have a private meeting with him.
Do you see this as a rub between yourself and the Archbishop?
Archbishop is entitled to his position. I'm entitled to mine, and I'm entitled to keep it confidential, which I will.
Okay. Rudy Giuliani, thank you for your time tonight, okay? Don't be a stranger, all right?
I won't.
Come back soon.
Happy to be back.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.